So, we'll talk through the mulligan whenever it arrives, and we'll have to bear it in mind in terms of the matchup we get as well. At this stage of the ladder season, there are still some kind of players that were ex-legend or ex-high ranks are still around rank 15, so the game can be quite tricky. So up against Warlock, it's a tricky mulligan because we don't know if it's Handlock or Zoo or Demon Lock. Wild Growth is a keep, in my opinion. I would always keep Wild Growth and Innervate almost no matter what. I probably wouldn't keep two, because there's no point in wild growthing into something that you can't play. Wrath is a flexible card to keep in that it allows you to do something against an aggressive start and allows you to cycle if you don't draw anything else. So Wrath is always like a hedge to keep. I'm not sure if it's correct to keep with the wild growth. You might want to wild growth into something. So I would normally keep the Wrath, but because I have the wild growth, I'm going to toss it back, and we'll see what we get. Okay, those are some very heavy cards, so we're going to want to get up to that mana cost very quickly. So I'm not going to coin the wild growth because I don't have anything to play on turn 3. It doesn't look like it's Zoo because there was no turn 1 play, although it's not always guaranteed. I think with this hand, Handlock is probably better for us. I think we would get run over by Zoo. That could be from Handlock, so I think that's fine. Here I'm just going to Wild Growth because I think it's better than Hero Power. We might be playing Swipe next turn, although that wouldn't be ideal. We could coin a 5. Knife Juggler means it's probably not Handlock. They just got quite a slow start. So if I coin the Azure Drake, it might get hit by a knife and just die. If I coin the Druid of the Claw in Taunt, the best case scenario is that it trades for both. If I charge it, it could get taken down by Mortal Coil, so I'm going to play it in Taunt mode. It's not a fantastic play, but I think it's probably the best chance to stabilise a little bit on this board. So next turn I'm probably looking at Azure Drake given this hand. Implosion with Knife Juggler, 4. Of course it's 4. It's not so bad because we do have the Swipe. It could be possible to get... Hopefully that doesn't hit. Well, it's not too bad. We're just probably going to clean this up with Swipe. We could get greedy and play Azure Drake and hope it stays alive and play Swipe next turn, but I think that's crazy. So it's really not mana efficient, but I think we just need to do the Swipe there. We're quite far behind on health. We're slightly ahead on cards. It's not a good position at all. So again, 6 is awkward. I don't really want to play this because it trades horribly. Azure Drake's probably the play, but I don't like playing it, and then floating a mana. Piloted Shredder, I'm going to be left with whatever demon that is versus whatever comes out of the Shredder, so it's probably a bad trade. I'm just going to play this. I think the draw is going to be worth it. Keeper of the Grove, that might be good against whatever comes out of that Void Caller. I could even try and silence the Void Caller. That's another potential silence target right there. Again, if I play the Keeper, having the 2 attack minion on the board against the 2/4 is not great. That's also not great for me. That's not great. He did attack with that. Could he have attacked with that? I think he missed the attack. I think probably Sylvanas is the play. Best case scenario, I steal the Doomguard. Worst case scenario, I steal a 1/1 that somehow gets generated from the gang boss. You know, if I can hit the Doomguard, I can finish it with the Keeper of the Grove. That's not good. I think I might have to... so we have a lot of choices here. We have effectively 10 mana with the Innervate if we need it. So there's the Swipe. So we can either steal a 1 health Doomguard or a gang boss or an imp. Risky. Force of Nature could allow us to guaranteed steal a 5/2. Nope, could not. I think the play here is to try and steal something. Let's just try this.
Let none survive.
See what happens. Okay, I wanted to avoid taking the extra 5 there. I think it was better just to get rid of that. Next turn I potentially could have killed it with the Ancient of, or with the Keeper of the Grove and not taking the face damage, but let's just get rid of it now. So for the first time in the game we're ahead on board, but we're low on health. We're kind of low on cards. Given this health, I'm kind of tempted to heal with the Ancient of Lore. We don't have the Swipe to deal with that, although we can do it with Keeper of the Grove and Hero Power. He's forced to trade. That's pretty good. Now we don't need to use Keeper. Basically, I think if we Ancient of Lore, we'll definitely have enough value to win, but we may just die. If we Ancient of Lore for healing, we might just run out of quality cards. Oh, we have another Ancient of Lore, so I think I'm probably just going to play it here to heal. Is that good? What else can we do? Force of Nature is pretty good, but it's part of our win condition. We could use it here. We'd have 3 left. Not great. Keeper of the Grove's not bad, especially with Hero Power. We could die to Doomguard Power Overwhelming, which would be 9. So if we do these trades here, I will take 2, be on 8 up to 9, so that's too risky. I do think we need... I think we can draw now and heal with the next one. Okay, that was quite greedy, but if it pays off I think we're in a good spot. Basically if we don't die this turn I think we're like way ahead in the game, but there's a reasonable chance that we just die this turn to shenanigans, especially because he has that tap. So we have 7, 8, 10 on board with 6 from Force of Nature, which is 16, so we would be 5 off. 2 from Keeper. That's not great for us. Really surprised he traded there. If we 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16. Do we have lethal? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 6 is 15. 17. No. Okay. So how do we best deal with this board? Do we draw again and try and draw into Would Savage Roar help? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 7. No. Okay, we're going to have to do something here. Let's just get that off the board. And those. Play the Shredder. Do we need to innervate anything? No. Don't hit face. That's fine. Okay, I felt like we had to contest the board there. I still really want to play a Thaurissan, I still really want to heal, but I felt like that was the more important priority, just to make those trades. We still have a good board presence. If he keeps tapping, we're getting close to lethal if we draw the Savage Roar. Don't like that card. I'm afraid of Mal'Ganis, basically. He's taunting that. I don't have a silence now, so I'm going to have to hit it. So I have a choice. I can either lose the 4-3 or the 2-4. Let's draw. Keeper. I will silence that. 4. I think it's worth innervating that. So that was a terrible Shredder that we got. But I really don't want to pull out that Mal'Ganis for free, so I thought it was worth silencing. We really kind of want the Savage Roar now. We do have the option to draw for it next turn, or we can heal again. I still feel like we're going to want to heal with the Ancient of Lore at some point. That tap is very dangerous for him. That's fine. Hellfire's not that fine. Sea Giant, interesting. Power Overwhelming. Is he going to trade that? Kind of strange. Strange to trade and play the Sea Giant. What have we got? 5 plus 6 is 11. 12. So we don't have lethal that I can see. We could draw for it. Would Savage Roar be lethal? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6, 12. No. 14. No. Do we deal with that giant? Probably. Which probably means we have to Force of Nature. Let's just do it. So his Sea Giant there was very strong, which means our turn's very weak, but he's getting very low in health. We still kind of want Savage Roar. We're still ahead on board slightly. That's tough to deal with. BGH would be good off the top. I think we got a draw for the BGH, to be honest. There we go.
I've got the beast in my sight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a gamble there, but you know, you have to play to win. And basically, if we don't get BGH, I don't think we can win. So our heal was kind of our, you know, we wanted that to heal. I think we just have probably won the game though. So the heal doesn't matter so much. He's tapping for an answer. And that's the game. So that was quite an atypical game for the combo Druid, in that the combo never actually came. And we certainly didn't use it to win. We just won by, you know, controlling the board and understanding our matchup there. So that's a pretty interesting game, I think. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Those cards are all too slow. We're playing a Druid Mirror, so we really want Wild Growth. We didn't get it, but these cards are not too bad. So no turn 1 play, just pass the turn.
My greetings.
So the Druid Mirror, I think, is pretty much tempo based. You need to get ahead on board and stay ahead on board, and then you just win. So we'll sort of try and analyse his play a little bit here as well. So he's innervating on turn 1. Against Druid, that's reasonable. Because there's not much punish for that in Druid, and we don't have a choice of plays here. So we'll just do the only one we can do. I feel like he should probably attack with that, because if I spend my turn removing it, then that's too slow. And he wants to get me down in the combo range as fast as possible. The other thing he can do is hold it, but I don't think there's a benefit to that. He does decide to hold it, which is good for me, because I think that slows the game down a little bit. And I have quite a slow hand and a lot of removal. So, his turn 3, he did hero power. I'm not sure, given his follow-up turns, I'm not sure about the initial innervate that he did. Now I have 4, I don't really have a choice of plays here. I'm just going to play this. I'm just going to attack with this. If he trades into it, I'm completely fine with that. And again, I suppose that's the risk of attacking on 3, but I got the damage and I feel like that's going to count at some point. Now I do have the option to innervate boom. I think I will innervate boom as I draw something else. And again, SM work. So it's slightly awkward, and then he can't trade directly for boom unless he has swipe, in which case my board gets wrecked. Although the boom bots could potentially kill that. He might also innervate boom. So now we're in an interesting spot. Now he attacks. So 6 was his magic number. Do I benefit from spell power swipe at all? Well, I can't do that. I could swipe. So basically, swipe's quite slow. I could silence the shade. And trade for boom. I'm not sure if I want to trade for boom. I do have Savage Roar. 7, 8, 9. He's on turn 6. If he has Savage Roar. I think I'm just going to be super aggressive here. 7. I'll do this. Play. I'm just going to set up the Savage Roar next turn. Yep. Oh wow, that was fortunate.
Nature will rise against you.
Yep. Yep.
Nature will rise against you.
GG. Yeah. Well, we kind of got pretty lucky there. I don't know. Fortune favours the brave, as they say. The thing in the last game was it looks like it's unlucky that it kills this boom, but he has the option to attack with that first, so it's really... You just have to be careful whenever you're planning your turns that you make sure that you plan for all eventualities, if possible. So I feel like these are all much too slow against Hunter, which I assume is Face Hunter because that's a safe assumption to make. That's quite a flexible hand, especially with the coin, so it's going to be important to modulate this. So that is automatically played. And the other thing to do there was innervate shade, but it seems strictly worse. So I have a choice here, a lot of choices. I can coin, innervate the Azure Drake and trade. I can hero power. I can Wrath. So, and I can Wrath to draw. So I think next turn I have 3 mana. I think I will coin the Shade and trade. Next turn I will plan to innervate the Drake. Coin innervate Drake seems very all in. I could have hero powered, but I want to preserve my health, and I don't think that the Zombie Chow will trade for better than, you know, taking 2 hits. So that's that. I'm just going to go ahead with that play. So I am going to hit face, because I think we're in a race already, and if he decides to trade, then I'm totally fine with that. I have a turn 4 play. It's not super strong, but it is something, and I have some draws for Wrath. So the secret, well, I mean, if it's explosive trap, I lose the Zombie Chow. If it's misdirection, I should attack with the Zombie Chow, and if it's freezing trap, I probably want to freeze the Zombie Chow, so I just think I should just attack with that first. It gives him another bow charge. Misdirection, that's totally fine. It sets up for like explosive trap being quite good, but you know, that's okay. So I will just SM Orc as much as possible. Especially given I have the Savage Roar already in hand. This is a matchup, always Hoffer. This is a matchup where the Ancient of Lore gets used to heal, pretty much. That's the dream. So I could be dead here. 5, 9, 11 plus the swipe is 15. Savage Roar is 5, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. Did I count that right? So it's 5, 9, 11 plus 3 times 2 is 6, which is 17. Hero power. Yeah, I think that's exactly lethal. Yeah, so this is where the 2 damage to face in the previous turn became really important. Because of that, you know, that wouldn't have worked out otherwise. I didn't calculate it beforehand, but it's just, you know, general. You know, I had decided just to race, and it came from that. I think if I survived the following turn, after that turn, I probably could have won, you know, in that turn. So against Golden Warrior is quite scary. I think Patron Warrior is very good against Druid. I think Control Warrior is not very good against Druid. Shade of Naxxramas against Patron, I guess, is okay. It kind of gets wrecked by Fiery War Axe. I think Patrons will run 1 Fiery War Axe. Control Warrior would run 2. But I don't have to attack with it. It also gets wrecked by Death Spite if I don't attack with it the first time. So I feel like you would hold it until it was 5, at which point, if it's Control Warrior Brawl, is a good way to deal with it. Again, it's one of those hedge cards where if I don't get anything else, I really wish that I had the Shade. I was going to keep it because I have 4 cards in the coin. So BGH is meh. Savage Roar I don't want to see at this point. Pilot Shredder's meh. This is an ex-legend player as well, just to know. So that's another Shade, which kind of makes me more likely to coin one because I have 2. So it's probably Control Warrior. And I think the way to win against Control Warrior is just to apply a ton of pressure and combo them down before, you know, they can start to really bring their mana to bear. So I'm probably just going to attack with this, even into a Fiery War Axe, because it will still deal the damage. And I'm trying to deal the damage, and I have another one. And also I keep his armor down so he can't shield slam, and just so he will die eventually. I'm totally fine with that happening. So again, I'm going to play the Shredder and attack. The Shredder will eat a weapon charge, but again it will deal the damage first. And I do have a 5, 6, 7 play, so I'm able to keep the pressure up. I have terrible cards for trading. I'm fine with that happening because I don't have to trade with his armor. He might execute one of these. Shield Slam, it's always going to happen. That's good. I'm fine with that. The Whirlwind effect will take that off, but it's okay. Okay, and the Belcher's quite hard for him to deal with. I don't want the draw, I just want the awkwardness of the Belcher. There was an option there for Azure Drake to draw, but I mean I have a 6 and a 7, so I don't feel like I need to cycle right now. He can't really kill that with a weapon very easily. This is a hard trade for me. I'm not even sure if I should make it. I'm actually going to make it awkward for that to get through my creatures, rather than play the Thaurissan, and I floated a mana and I don't get Thaurissan, which seems really bad, but I do have the Savage Roar. So, you know, keeping awkward stuff on board is not too bad. Waiting towards the late stage of the game, I need to be thinking about killing him very soon. Otherwise we just lose. So he's, you know, minimizing creatures and stuff. I really would quite like the Keeper. Would be very good here. So I do have combo. What to do. I probably want to trade that in. My mana usage is kind of awkward these last two turns, doing that their own way around, but unless he can kill the 4/6 some other way, he's not going to be able to kill Thaurissan. Well, I guess he can have Execute. Yeah, probably Execute. He's quite low now though. Cruel Task Execute. Hope it doesn't clear the board entirely, that will suck. Yeah. So now we're at a very dangerous position. We do have combo, but he's starting to get board presence and heal up. This is what happens when Warrior has the ability to use their mana. I think we just want to get the creatures on the board as much as possible here. So that's going to be played. And probably that's going to be played because it's quite sticky. We're kind of okay because we're not running out of cards to play that aren't combo, but if that starts to happen, it's very bad for us. So he has 9 mana. It depends kind of what cards he has as to how this game's going to go. He's already used a lot of weapons. So Force Savage is 8. Next turn we have, 7 mana. Next turn we have 9, so we can do Force Savage Hero Power, which is 15 plus 8 plus 4. It's now 15 plus 4 plus 2, which is 20. So I think we have it. And that's it. So yeah, the game plan there was just to kind of like, you know, set him down so that combo on turn 9, you know, would kill him. And that was basically the game plan, and it worked out okay. I do think that Control Warrior has a really tough matchup against Druid, but it's possible to play Druid in such a way that you try to, like, you know, trade too much with the Control Warrior and not get that face damage in, and that is when you can lose. That's an example of how you can really, you know, switch the gears of this deck. Ooh, I have no idea how to play against Priest.
I must protect the wild.
I feel like we'll keep the shade. I feel like the beatdown gets punished here. The beatdown that we did against the Control Warrior, I don't think that same strategy works. I think Priest has earlier swings than the Warrior. Though I could be wrong. The control game will almost definitely lose against Priest. I think we'll just play for the board. Some sort of aggressive Priest, mech Priest. Is that a thing? If that becomes a 3-2 and trades, then we'll just wrath the other thing. And if it doesn't become a 3-2, then we'll just eat it. We could actually now wrath that thing. In fact, we can just innervate the keeper. Next turn we have a 3, that's fine. And then a 5 with the coin. So I'm just going to, well, which is it best to do? Silence or... Yeah, no, it's best to... Well, it's best to kill that thing. And then... Yeah. So... The mana for like the turns following that turn works out okay like that. Kind of want to be able to silence that now. I think I'm just going to knock that down with my face. He's only got 3 cards, well, 4 in a second. So hopefully there's not too much that's going to go wrong here. My next turn's super awkward. It's basically shade and floating mana, which isn't that good. Oh, don't hit the keeper. This is for the game. Okay, we're good. Okay, innervate for 1 is too awkward to do. Is it? I feel like that needs to die because, you know, it could trade with both of those very easily. Let's get this out of the way while it only heals for 2. I feel like it's a super board control match, so I'm just going to innervate for 1, shade, break all the rules about counting mana as well. Next turn I've got Azure Drake. I'm running out of cards because I'm making tempo plays. Hopefully the card quality that's coming in my later cards will help me. That's a very high quality card though, and that one's quite useful too, although I will try and pick it off with the shade. I'll just draw first. Okay, that's really strong. So even though I only have 3 cards, one of them is Thorson, which is a really strong card. So this is what I mean. I'm giving up card advantage, but the cards I have later are very powerful. That's very powerful as well, that 5/8 spider tank. Could Savage Roar, doesn't help enough. That's pretty good. So 2 would bring it to 5, 4 would bring it to 3. 2, 3, 4, 7. So I can't. I think I'm going to have to trade this in with the 4 damage. It's inefficient, but you know, what can you do? Again, he's only got 2 cards, so he'll have Thorson. well, 3 cards now. So I would say I have 5 cards. You know, the 2 on board, 2 in my hand, and the one I'm going to draw. He's just drawn his. He has 3. So I'm ahead on cards, and we're even on health, and I'm ahead on the board. Ooh, what is this? I've never seen this in competitive play. At the start of your turn, if you have at least 3 mechs, destroy them all and form a Voltron. I think Voltron is an insta-lose for me. If you have at least 3 mechs, does that mean in your hand, or... it's kind of scary. It's also kind of scary to swipe that. I think if Voltron happens, I just die. So I might just kill that. Okay. I still haven't played the Thorson, and I'm floating mana and using swipe on single targets, so I'm not getting massive value out of these cards, but I don't feel like we're in an unwinnable spot. Especially if we draw a Force of Nature. That's a very, very good late game card for him. Force of Nature is now not such a good draw. This is good. So that turn just kind of has to get played out. 2 keepers on board's too weak. Priest has, you know, we're getting into like a control game nearly, so it's hard to know what way that priest is built. I thought it was very aggressive, but if it has like Shadow or Death and stuff, then it's going to be very effective. Light Bomb, it's like, that's a very control card, so we may be in a control game against priest here as Druid, so that would not be good. That's terrible. Do we even play this? Sure. So double Savage Roar next turn is a total of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 damage, which is nowhere near what we need. Although again, that's not a strong card for the late game from the priest. Force of Nature is good again because we have Force Savage, which is lethal, I think. It's 22, 14, 6, 18, 20. He might have healed out of it. So Shredder seems like the play. We're floating a lot of mana every turn, but so is the priest. I do wonder what the priest is holding. Might be mind control or something ridiculous. Mind control Shredder would be good, but not that good. Don't want to let him draw cards at all of that. Now 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that lethal? 8, 10 plus 12, 22. 3 to 4, 25. 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 23, 24. I think it might be. Let's go for it anyway. Oh no, I miscounted. Did I? I don't know. No, it wasn't that. I thought I counted hero power. No, anyway, that was kind of disgusting.